The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you find it hard staying optimistic with all the financial news in the media? I'm Bernard Hickey, and on my podcast, When the Facts Change, I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of economics in Aotearoa. So join the conversation every Friday on When the Facts Change, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in partnership with KiwiBank.
Give it? I burped to the right. The right is my private place.
Kia ora koutou, welcome to The Real Pod. We are all in attendance. My name is Jane Yee. I'm joined by Alex Casey and Duncan Greive. Samuel is on the controls and almost none of us are in the same room together.
Well, Samuel and I are. Like, we showed up.
The disgusting brothers.
The disgusting brothers, that's right.
Where have you been for the last few weeks, Duncan?
So I get to be Tom in this, right?
Why do you think I'm Greg?
Because you're tall and young.
Like we're not even here.
No, this is just
gangly.
Problematic.
Duncan, explain yourself. Where have you been?
Yeah. I've been in North America. I've been in Austin, Texas, and in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico.
Fancy. That's nice. Nice little hollybobs.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I went for a friend's 40th birthday, and I read a book about HBO, and I wasn't on any of the platforms. I got a reasonable sort of a tan, I would characterize it as. Ate a lot of tacos, a lot of quite bad margaritas. Don't want to tell Mexicans how to make margaritas.
But I just want to cut to the point that the question everyone has on their lips right now. Did you come back with a new chain?
No, I tried. Believe me, I tried. I went to Chichen Itza, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world, like modern edition, while also being 600 years old or so. Which is this really cool pyramid that you might remember from such cinematic masterpieces as Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. And I got sold what I thought was a chain with like a Mayan calendar thing on it. This sounded really bad.
Oh my God.
But no, it's cool. It's cool.
A calendar.
Luis explained it to me. The Mayan calendar is quite a different like visual format to the one you're used to. And I bought it and I was really excited. I was walking away and then the chappie who sold it to me was like, oh no, that's just the amulet. It's not the chain itself. And I'm like, I don't think that was true. But we ended up having this sort of vaguely tense standoff, and I ended up walking away with this like ferociously expensive tiny thing without a chain. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that as a sort of like I can't really afford to buy a chain for it now.
Can you add it to a pre-existing chain?
Well, but it's silver, and all my pre-existing chains, as you know, are gold.
Oh, you can't be doing that.
So no, look, it's a situation. It's an evolving story.
I'm excited to see you rocking an amulet around the office.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, I am too. But it could be some years before that dream is realised.
We'll all be yelling out, Duncan, how many weeks till Christmas? Whip out your amulet.
That's right. Like, the Mayan calendar is really cool. We had this guy called Luis who said that he was the second best guide to these Mayan ruins. And when we asked who the best was, he just pointed up, which is just such a cool move.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, big Luis guy now, and yeah, I had a great time.
But
Thank you.
not as good a time as you're having right now here in the Real Pod studio.
Well, that's true. The fact that, as I was saying to Alex off air, my actual highlight of the trip was the brief occasions where I got to sneak away and watch the weddings and then the reunion special of Married at First Sight. To stay in the indoors where the air conditioning is strong and the internet signal most powerful, and watch a pirate stream of the glorious conclusion to the greatest goddamn season of reality TV ever to have existed.
God, it feels like forever ago now, though, doesn't it? We've really moved on. Though we do have a little bit of post-MAFS news coming up later in Reality Check. Before we get underway proper, I need to ask Alex, how are you doing in Christchurch, Alex?
I'm doing good, thank you, Jane. I've also been away, not quite North America, but definitely Hanma.
And you saw some celebs, which we will get onto in the real news.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, I think Hanma Springs is the seventh wonder of the world, to be fair. I was very impressed. I thought it was a fantastic little resort
hang
town.
on, which one are you knocking off then? Because there's already 7. Do you want to
What
add
are
one
they?
to make it?
The Sky Tower.
Okay. yeah, that's right. There's like the Colosseum, the Taj Mahal,
Oof.
the Pyramids of Giza, which is the only surviving of the original wonders.
Niagara Falls?
The Incan city of Machu Picchu.
Is Niagara Falls one or?
No, that's a natural world. Like these are man-made wonders.
Cool
for the
how I
most
don't
part.
even know the very basics of this thing.
Well, like I didn't know all that much until I found out that we were 3 hours away from a wonder, and bravely drove there in a very straight line. Really patting myself on the back for being a hero.
You're a
And
whole
it's-
new you. You're like
Am I?
very cultured all of a sudden.
Yeah, thank you
with
for
your
noticing.
amulets and your wonders.
Well, I would just like to add the conical thrill in particular, which is a slide, a man-made slide. I think that should be the 8th wonder. Okay.
Okay.
That was the best part of your Hanma time.
It was terrific. God, it's been a while since you do a good hydro slide. You don't, you get old and you stop going down slides and stuff like that. But no one will judge you at Hanma Springs. You can go on the slides
That's
as
great.
much as you want.
What do you think is do they have an age cap? Like, that you must be this tall to go on this ride. Like, you can't be this old to go on this ride.
You just got to be over 120 centimetres and you
I
go.
thought you were going to say 120
And that's
years.
it.
But that's
Yeah.
very niche.
No, I saw some very old woman coming down the conical thrill and she looked really scared, but happy at the
I'm
end.
surprised that sounds like an Alex Casey story, to be honest. I spoke to this old lady who went on a hydro slide. 5,000 clicks.
If you want to partake in a conversation probably more stimulating than this, then head to the Real Pod Corner on Facebook. We are in Discord. You can find the links to both of those in the show notes for this episode. We must crack on into the real news. Guys, the recession's looking to be real bad, like really bad. But more importantly, we're not talking about that stuff here. It's not about the bad times, it's about the worst times. And in this case, a yucky feijoa festival is happening in Whanganui.
What are the dates? I'll go.
Okay, the dates are bring your spare feijoas or pick some up, dress in your finest green clothes. There will be feijoa-inspired activities. Bring a feijoa-based dish to share for morning tea, and there'll be prizes for the biggest, smallest, and ugliest feijoas. There'll be music and singing, presumably feijoa themed.
Feijoa
In fact,
themed.
So I got this from the Real Pod Corner, which is my news source now, and someone knew someone who had been asked to perform, a musician, and they'd been invited to change out song lyrics to make them feijoa themed.
I love this. This is a massive story. We've got to send someone. This is copyright us, by the way.
I tell you who you're not
It
sending.
sounds stinky.
Me. I don't want to go.
Conquer
sounds
your
like my worst nightmare.
fears. Take the amulet. It will protect you.
I don't think that's how amulets work. They're not like nose clips.
You'll ward off the smells.
It's happening this weekend. So if you're around the Whanganui area, head to the Whanganui River Markets. It's just going to be feijoa-abulous. It's what it's called.
No.
The Feijoa-abulous
No.
Festival.
Feijoa-abulous.
Really
I
just
love it.
shoehorn that in there. And not only that, here's the biggest, bury the lead. Yes, it's back for 2023. So this is not even the first time. It's the 7th.
It's not their first feijodio.
Oh, this is the eighth wonder of the world. It really is.
The
feijoa
feijoa or this
fest.
podcast.
Eighth and ninth, I say. Alex, please tell us about these celebrities. I can wait no longer. Tell me about the celebrities.
Okay, so I did a tease in our group chat. I said I saw 2 celebrities at Hanmer Springs over the weekend. And I thought, as a throwback, you might remember in lockdown when I was walking around Mount Eden every day, I would do the masked celeb of the mountain, and I'd give a cryptic clue. So I've got a cryptic clue for you. This was someone I saw in a hot pool.
Sounds like a poem.
I actually just jotted it down, but it doesn't make any sense. I've got to get up early to make sure no time is wasted in this pool.
Okay, it's someone who does breakfast, radio or television. Am I correct?
You're in the right world.
I'm in the right. Someone.
I don't want to guess because I feel like it's offensive if I get it wrong. If I've taken the wrong emphasis word.
Wasted.
Yeah.
Someone who deals with trash or rubbish.
Is it Hayley Holt?
No. Good guess, but no.
You're going to have to narrow it down for us, Alex.
Well, you're right. He wakes up early. He just released a book called Wasted. It was only Guy and Espiner.
Guy and Espiner. Recent fold guest.
Is he?
And he doesn't actually wake up early.
But didn't he used to?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Ages
It's all
ago.
Good enough. It's good enough.
Can you repeat the clue?
It's all in the
Repeat
wash.
The clue? I just want
Got to
fact
get
check
up
your clue.
early. Make sure no time is wasted.
Used to got to get up
Yeah, but that
early.
doesn't work. And the other one I couldn't be bothered writing a clue for, it was Keita from F-Boy Island, NZ, who will
I don't
mean
even
nothing
know.
to anyone. But I immediately clocked her and I was like, that's Keita. But no one would probably know because nobody watched. But
Well, Alex-
I watched
No.
and I see all.
Alex, I have to say, you've got some stiff competition because Alice S. in the corner is gunning for your title.
What's she got?
This from here. Having some serious corny moments in the last week. Since last Thursday, I've seen Julia Sloan at a bar. Art Green made me a scent bag at a house and garden tour. Almost walked into Anne Batley Burton earlier tonight in a restaurant, presumably non-solo pizza. And then was looking at a painting through a window, turned around and saw a framed portrait of Colin Mathura-Jeffrey on the wall. Oh, and John and Brona Key walked past us tonight, but did not see Max, so didn't think it was qualified as corner-related. Incorrect. It is corner-related.
Yeah,
it's a
no, that's definitely
huge
corner-related.
haul in 1 week.
Is this person just doing like orbiting Parnell?
It's definitely spending some time in Parnell.
Just sitting on one of those fold-out chairs with the beer cup holders, like a camp chair. The framed portrait of Colin Mathura-Jeffrey, I'm interested.
Self-commissioned? Do you reckon?
We've seen this. This was on a bus stop for a time. We've this is a part of our history. You've seen this before. I don't know why, I don't know where, I don't know how. But I know what this is. The Colin Mathura-Jeffrey portrait. It was
Is it oils?
yeah,
is
it's like
it
beautiful, and he's wearing like a hat with a peacock feather in it and whatnot.
Oh, yes, I do know that now that you mentioned the hat with the feather and the peacock and the whatnot.
I cannot find.
I
Oh, no,
do.
here's some evidence of it. New Zealand Portrait Gallery.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who's it by? Who's the fancy artist?
Colin
Layla Ataya. It's called A Sip at a Time. Acrylic on board.
Golly,
Wow.
I could really have that in my house.
I've had a portrait done. I had a portrait done by a guy called Martin Welch back when I was on in C4, and he did a whole bunch of them. He did 2 of me. My nose just looks ginormous. I don't know if that's if I just don't recognise that in myself on a day-to-day basis, but certainly ginormous in these portraits. So like Jackie Brown, there was one of Jackie Brown, there were a few other people. I can't remember who they all were, but he did 2 of me, and one of them sold to someone in Paratai Drive.
Whoa, could have been
So I can
Gilda.
only assume that Gilda Kirkpatrick,
Kirkpatrick?
one of the Patricks, has got this portrait of me. The other one, years after the fact, they got in touch and were like, didn't sell, can't get any money for it. Do you want it? Do you want it for $200?
Did you?
Yes, and it's at my mum and dad's house now.
Aw.
Yeah,
I want to see
that's
it.
That should be in the museum.
Yeah, I'm sure we could. I don't think they want
We
it.
could-
How's your
Does
nose
the
in that
museum-
one?
Oh no, big.
Still big?
Big.
Have you considered just going and just retouching it?
No, I
'Cause you're a
haven't. But that's a
crafty
great
lady.
call.
You could
That's
do
a great call.
Mr. Bean, Whistler's Mother. I did watch Mr. Bean's Ultimate Disaster Movie when I was in Hanma.
Still good?
Still good.
Oh my God. Okay, Alex, I don't know you. I feel like you're the person who will know about this question. Is Suzanne Paul the next Briscoes lady? Is there a succession plan here? What's going on?
I'm on the story. No one will talk. Briscoes has gone to ground. The agency that's makes their ads is not replying to my emails. Suzanne Paul and Tammy Wells, both radio silent. So I've had to go to the second tier. I've talked to some marketing experts. I've talked to Hayden Donnell, media watcher.
He's clinging to second tier by a fingernail.
Media watcher and a man who famously tried to put Suzanne Paul in a glass case and get it to Te Papa. And there's a few different options here. I talked to Bodo Lang, who is a professor in marketing at MAFSAU University, and he thinks it's a succession plan. He thinks they're doing a 2-month kind of duo and then there'll be a handover. Now, it's not often that you would hand over to someone significantly older
and more famous,
than the pre-existing person. So that's one of the options. I also suggested it could be possibly a reaction to, the tightening purses and stuff, that Briscoes hit the big red button and said we need to bring in, the biggest gun of all time to get people to keep spending. Suzanne Paul can sell anything to anyone. So maybe it's just going to be the two of them forever. I don't know. It's a crazy mystery. Apparently there are TV ads as well, but I haven't come across them.
I have a confession. This is not going to surprise you at all. It's my life goal to be the Briscoes lady. I've heard the urban legends of her being flown up once every 6 weeks to record a bunch of promos and then just flies back home and lives her life on a beautiful big lifestyle block and getting paid heaps of money just for that.
It feels like
once every 6 week job.
She's very in line to be like just sell her likeness forever and just have AI be the Briscoes lady, because very limited. Like the total phraseology of the Briscoes lady has got to be like 60 words. And once you've struck a few poses, what with generative AI being advancing as fast as it is, I feel like that could be a centuries-long dividend to her, her ancestors.
I don't think you're helping my case for becoming the next Briscoes lady.
Well, you
Duncan.
could be the Andy Serkis for her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the mocap. She has absolutely nailed it. Also, because, she famously wears a wig in the Briscoes ads. The fact that she gets to just whip it off.
Has that ever been reported?
Go back to the farm.
Are we breaking that
No,
here?
well, it's mentioned in almost all profiles of her. Hayden Donnell did actually write an entire story about it, but we spiked it at the last minute because we thought it was maybe offensive. It's still in the back end, though. Maybe we could start like a secret Patreon.
We should have
for
a
people to
day
read
when we just publish all of our almost
spin-off spikes.
published.
The cursed takes. But yeah, it's very interesting because I only saw it in a GIF on the New Zealand Herald site, and it was the Briscoes lady on her own, and then the GIF changed, and it was like doorbuster deals, and Suzanne Paul enters the frame.
Oh, so it was like an ad. It wasn't like a news story.
No, it's an ad. Yeah.
She's
I was
just
going to say,
there.
they can't start doing GIFs. That's what we do.
Okay. Reddit's popping off. There are at least 7 comments on this. And Taffy the Wonder Dog has posited this question. If Tina from Turners and Suzanne Paul had a knife fight, who would win?
Tina from Turners?
Turners.
Have you seen Tina from Turners?
Yeah, but I also think you underestimate Suzanne Paul. I don't think it would be an easy win. I give Tina the win, but I mean, Suzanne Paul has now got a lot of knives at her disposal.
That's true. If it's just a volume game, who has the most knives?
She could pad herself out with bambillos, of course. But yes, it's a rip in the fabric of the universe, and it's exciting. Hopefully, by the time this podcast is out, there's a good story by me about it on the spin-off. And if not, don't steal my ideas.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I caught it all with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, Senior Writer at The Spin-Off. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Greive, founder of The Spinoff. You can help us keep all of The Spinoff's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Speaking of stealing ideas, the Corns have seen some activity on the internet of people putting still wine, through soda streams to create bubbly wine. And they've sacrificed themselves for the cause, and some of them have been having a wee go at experimenting with this, and apparently it works.
Is it yum?
I don't know. I've had Emma said for science, I attempted this today. I did a half bottle, a very short, anxious burst on the gas, probably got to about 5. I think it would still work without the anxiety, but gradually released the pressure, and voila, fizzy wine.
Wow. Could you do it with milk?
What?
Wow.
Whoa.
Why?
Why not?
would you?
What? So has there been fizzy milk? Is that?
No, I don't know. I'm just wondering. You
Okay,
never hear
again,
about fizzy milk.
Don't steal this,
You
Jamela.
don't. I mean, it feels like if milk were to be fizzy, that would be setting off your receptors saying this has gone bad.
True,
You know?
true.
Like when a good milk goes bad.
I would like
Oh.
to try that.
I think you should. Do you have a soda stream machine?
I do.
Oh,
Would it wreck the soda stream? No, you'd just have to immediately
flush
do it
it
with
out.
water.
Flush it out.
Because it's just going out, isn't it? God, it's
going out.
amazing technology.
God, what couldn't you fizz up? What happens if you fizz up something that's already fizzy?
Can you
Create a
fizz soup?
Wow.
I can see what you're going to be up to for the
I
next
feel
week, Alex.
this is a story. I think we might have to cut this out.
Don't worry. No one is stealing this one, Duncan.
Can you fizz soap?
This next story is highly relevant to me because I have children at home. That's why I'm at home at the moment, school holidays, and my twins are so into Bluey. And my daughter has been quite sick lately with the various rounds of gastro and colds and just buggy bugs. It's been a lot of time at home, and her go-to, she just lays down and watches Bluey after Bluey after Bluey after Bluey. So I'm very well versed in Bluey now. Great show. But Alex, what's the news?
Neil Finn is having a cameo on Bluey. One line, I believe.
One line.
Playing a doctor, a dog. Is everyone a dog? I've never seen it. Is it World of
Yeah.
Dogs?
Dog World.
Yeah, so he has one line as a dog doctor. Pretty good.
I suppose we don't know the line. That would be a huge spoiler alert, wouldn't it?
I think it actually is in this story, but I'm certainly not going to open it.
We'll find out in due course. Well, I will at least.
I mean, it's just, I added that to the doc because I just like to bring up, it's been about 2 weeks of me not talking about the fact that Neil Finn crashed into my car once. And I
While you
just
listen to Crowded House.
want to re-up that story while I was listening to Crowded House. And
Have you ever written that down on the internet?
I actually think I have multiple times.
Yeah. I was
Once a
gonna
year
say.
it comes out. But no, good on him. Good to see Kiwis on the world stage.
I can follow that up with a really, I'm sure I've said this too, and I probably said it right off the back of your Neil Finn praying story, that I once very accidentally and very remorsefully, whoopsie, went through a red light with all of Betch Duper in the car in town one time.
Whoa.
I know. We're all still alive to tell the tale, but just keep your eyes on
For
the
those who
lights,
don't know,
guys.
Betcha Duper is Liam Finn, and was it when there was the other Finn as well, the
Elroy?
the younger brother,
No,
Elroy Finn?
No, it was baby Finn
It was
days.
just Liam.
Yeah.
So basically, I've got to get into some drama with Sharon.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to
You need to smash a Charondelier.
smash a Charondelier is the only way. Okay, I'm on it.
Okay. And our last bit of real news, it's quite sad news for anyone who likes Phantom of the Opera. It is no more. Well, it's no more on Broadway. The final curtain came down on Sunday, ending Broadway's longest running show. There were standing ovations.
13,981
It's
performances.
amazing you've been counting them all these years, Duncan. Well done. You have to count them no more. All right. You are released from that
good,
duty.
Pretty good knowledge.
It ended with a reprise of the music of the night performed by the current cast plus previous actors, including the original star Sarah Brightman. And Andrew Lloyd Webber took to the stage. He dedicated it to his son, who died after a battle with gastric cancer and pneumonia, which is very sad. And I think it's the end because it says here the production first opened in London in 1986. Since then, It's been seen by more than 145 million people in 183 cities and performed in 17 languages, over 70,000 performances. On Broadway alone, it's grossed more than $1.3 billion.
Far out. Have you guys seen it?
Nah.
I have actually a really good home video recording of me playing Christine. Just in the lounge.
Put that in the corner.
My sister is playing the Phantom, and she's got a latex witch's mask on backwards. And it's very, very, very dramatic, extremely dramatic. My own interpretation. I'm 7 or 8 years old. I die at the end. I collapse in a heap on the ground after hitting a really high note. And then I just get up and walk off. It's very good.
I think that should go on into the...
It's on DVD. I don't know how to un-DVD it.
We can do it.
And in fact, originally recorded onto a
Samuel's got this like swaggy, I can do that.
Leave it with me.
Okay.
Does this mean, but still like amateur theatre companies and stuff will do this? It's just a Broadway run. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works.
I'm sorry. I literally just read out the thing off another news media website. Okay? That's all I did. I am the Bulletin.
Hey, the Bulletin's a lot better than that. The Bulletin is like fact-rich and context-rich. It's not just that was reading.
Admittedly a terrible sell for the Bulletin. I'm the Real Pod version of the Bulletin. How's that?
Yeah. You are to the Bulletin what Real Pod is to
podcasting.
Podcasting, yeah. An absolute disgrace.
Let's have a quick dip into reality check.
I have 4 weeks to decide I'm going to drop my entire life.
I am disgusted at how much you have copied my husband.
This is fine. I don't even know.
Reality check.
Alyssa from MAFSAU. We reported last week that she's on Judge Judy. Now she's lost her job.
It seems like she's living in hell now after that show. Like, yes, she was kind of the villain and did not come out off great, but she's getting like threats to her house. People are texting her phone. She's lost her job. It's a damn shame. And as we famously know, she has a child.
She does have a child. What was her job?
She was an EA, executive assistant.
Sorry.
Which I think is quite relevant because I was thinking about that when I was watching her. If I was like a fancy man and had an executive assistant, I do think she's borderline. It's sort of untenable to have someone who's just like massively famous for being really annoying. Like, I just think that would be disruptive because an EA is supposed to be someone who just makes their high-powered executive's life go smoothly and just, like is arranging their schedule and dealing with things as they come along. And I just think that I kept thinking that as the show was on. I was like, I don't see how your job is you can do your job in the same way that you used to when you now carry this outsized reputation as a villain. And yeah, that's not fair, but it sort of does go along with like when you submit yourself to the show that's an outcome, especially when you behave in a real villainous way.
She can get some brand deals.
Well, I have a bit of an update actually on the various career paths people are taking at the back of MAFSAU. MAFSAU. I just said maths. Can't really tell the difference, can you? Ollie and Rupert are planning to use their platform to release a satirical podcast.
No!
Wow,
Rupert.
That's not fair. Rupert, that's what I mean. It's like Ollie, sure, all day, every day, but Rupert?
Evelyn was already an influencer, but with the extra followers, she plans to further her career in the world of podcasts. With her best friend, Rice. Her best friend's called Rice, by the way. Harrison, as we know, is going to become a relationship guru. We can only presume that there will be a podcast element to that. Alyssa,
is he really going to do that?
I mean, it's what he said.
Wow. On the show or subsequent?
Subsequent.
Bloody hell.
And Alyssa, who we know was just coincidentally lost her job after appearing on MAFSAU the same way I coincidentally lost my job at a company after I had a baby. She is going to start a podcast called the Bad Mums Podcast.
Wow.
Caitlin's doing something a little different. She's reactivating her OnlyFans account.
Who is Caitlin? Oh, yeah.
Shannon and Caitlin,
right.
come on.
Yeah.
Taylor, she's working as a nurse still, reportedly launching a podcast called Tassie Tigers.
It's real buzzy how podcast, like, because one of them already had a podcast, right? Adam had a podcast.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
Like prizes?
Crypto. How to win a prize pod.
Jessie, probably one of the people who maybe should have a podcast, is planning on going into hosting and comedy. Hosting a podcast?
Oh,
I don't know. Big question mark.
It's too much. Is the Shawnee show still happening? Do you remember that? Shawnee with the frosted tips.
Such a bit part in the MAFS universe. He was, he was one of the early ones,
I wonder if it's worth, like, I mean, no one's going to read this, but we'd really enjoy making it. It's like listening to all of the MAFS universe podcasts
it's a
and
great
ranking
idea.
them.
Don't steal that. So many. This has just been a great little stand-up meeting.
Idea generation.
Is NASA, would you count NASA's appearances on The Real Pod as his podcast? Probably, eh?
I think he would.
Award-winning.
I have to say, though, MAFS content is a hot property in the podcast arena, because I know we have lost a few listeners since we started recapping.
Oh, no.
But have you watched Blow Up, anyone?
I watched Blow Up.
And is that, do you think we could ride that train to Listener Town?
We could give it a crack.
Wow, I just realised what you said, Jane. Ride that train to Listener Town.
Is it not good?
Really
I think
good.
it's quite good.
Really good.
I'm just not sure if those sort of like the skill-based, like Lego Masters and the sort of crafty, arty ones, they don't have the same
Drama and affairs
talkability.
and toxicity.
But Blow Up I thought was a bit of fun. I think a lot of people probably won't like it. I think if you're the kind of person who sneers at Disney adults, you probably won't like Blow Up. But if you're the kind of person who likes wow, like me, you will love Blow Up. It was actually quite fun. And it's the only other thing I will say is it's very squeaky. Like you almost have like a physical reaction. I had to pause it 8 minutes in because I was like salivating in this weird way, like I was about to vomit. And I just needed some time away from the squeaks. It actually might be another good story is who did
That'd be
the
a
sound.
great critic's quote to do as a pull quote on a teaser trailer.
You're going to be so busy, Alex.
I know.
Bear in mind, you need to get all these out stat because
the
all the
podcast is coming.
All the other journalists and all the other media outlets are just waiting in the wings to grab these stories from you if you don't push go.
I know, God, it's hard being me. But yeah, check it out. It's colourful, family-friendly fun, I will say that. And just don't think about the fact that, like, they kill, balloons kill turtles and stuff like that. It's fun.
They do use
compostable. They do on the show. But
right.
In the world,
they're making Big Balloon very popular, and I'm sure that people aren't checking the fine print.
They are, yeah. There. And they are at pains to mention the compostability and all of that, but I sort of thought they could have, like, maybe made a few more PSAs throughout the show to be like, don't release them into the air, you know.
Sounds like a really great show you're pitching.
I just love a bit more kind of dry environmental messaging in my reality shows.
That's real popular.
It was just like the first challenge was undersea creatures, and I was like, ooh.
Oh,
no. Someone should have thought about that a little bit harder.
Duncan has discovered a great new show called Police 10-7.
Well, it's not a great new show, but it's 2 episodes away from the forever grave. But yeah, Police 10-7 is about to go off air after 750 episodes and over 1,000 crimes solved. That's, you can do the math on that. It's about 1.3 crimes solved per episode.
Did you get confused when you're adding up all the Phantom of the Opera performances and the Police 10-7?
Oh, it's an entirely different spreadsheet.
Yeah.
No, so basically, Police 10-7 is being taken off air on account of being racist, which is it's not something which people love anymore. It used to be very popular, like racist TV shows, but now people are sort of a bit down on them. which is, I think it's entirely appropriate that go off air, even though they have tried quite hard to sort of reform it and make it a bit more sort of aware of the modern environment in which it operates. But and I'm not here to particularly defend it, but I have gone back and watched, like, there's vast quantities of it on Tubi.tv, which is like a free ad-supported television service. And I gotta say, like, the first season almost feels tonally different to what comes after, because it doesn't have Graham Bell, the who is, like, admittedly a very, like, unintentionally funny host.
Alexander Graham Bell.
Yeah, totally. They've got the inventor of the telephone to host the show. But everyone's like a flaming idiot or whatever. He's got a real sort of Alf Stewart energy about him. But the first season's he's not on it at all. And it's just basically super hosed sort of young New Zealanders in the early sort of 2000s. You know, like the very first guy, he smashes up a bus shelter or something, and then they get the dog and they find him and he's asleep in the park, and the dog wakes him. He's like, "Get the dog away from me! I'm way too stoned for this." And it's just everything's just like really cute for some reason, and it feels like incredibly low stakes. Like, if you were to sort of happen upon this and have this be your understanding of how crime works in New Zealand, it looks like a total idyll. There's this other bit where they pull over this guy for not having a seatbelt on, and they discover he's got a bald tire, and he's real funny about it. And then they're sort of sitting there after writing him up for his seatbelt and his bald tire, and he does a burnout, and then they have to pull him over for doing a burnout. And then after that, he like wipes. He gets in front, knocks on the bonnet of the police car, and wipes his ass stagily with the notice. And then when they go past him, he like tailgates them as just sitting on their bumpers. Like this, it's just really amazing attitude towards policing from this guy. So, like, what I'm trying to say is it's a terrible show and it should be banned, but real funny stuff on there if you go back far enough.
It's a little bit like Renters, you know?
Yeah, it's like Renters or Neighbours at War. There was a whole period, Motorway Patrol, noise control. There was a whole period where we were just shooting most of the time when we were in conflict as a nation. I think there were about 2 million New Zealanders at the time. We had cameras on all of us, and it's shot all over the country. Like the budgets on this thing would have been wild. It was a big show. They had like over a million viewers in Australia at its peak. Like, people just loved this content.
When you started talking. A little bit after you started talking, I had a child come into the room trying to like sign language that he wanted something, and I couldn't figure out what he was saying. So I got up and I went and I kind of helped him with some stuff. And then I ran back thinking, ooh, hopefully Duncan's not finished yet. Sat down. You weren't finished. And in fact, I probably could have gone off and not just said, yes, you can have some chips. I probably could have gone off and grown the potatoes. You know,
it's basically giving you guys like a little tea break in the middle of the episode.
It's actually quite good.
I had a big nice drink of water actually.
I'm also like I'm on the floor of my bedroom on my knees, and I actually did need to stand up because my legs were going to sleep. So actually, thank you, Duncan.
But we look forward to reading your story about this as well, which will be up on the spin-off.
Sort of next week, maybe. It's just been bumped. It might just it might become like, because of the edgy take that is Police 107 is terrible, but also funny. It might just never get published.
Do you think maybe we could get someone from Police 107 on the fold to talk about
Sam
the juggernaut it was?
Sam Wallace. I read an interview with Graham Bell. I hope that's his name. And with Catherine Wolfe from like 2010. And man, he's just ripping off terrible, hilarious quote after he's just one of those people who just only speaks in things that you're not allowed to say. It's pretty crack up stuff.
Okay. Last little bit of reality check. This is quite old. So when I was noodling around Reddit, the Briscoes lady, Suzanne Paul, so on, I stumbled across a screen grab. We may have talked to this before, but here we go. It's a screen grab of a text conversation between a mysterious Amy and a mysterious Reddit user says, "Hey, I'm currently casting for a new dating show in New Zealand. We're looking for singles with children over the age of 18 for a heartwarming new show. Join a group of singles at a beautiful retreat while your children create their own content about a parent seeking another chance at love. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, please let me know."
Whoa.
The reply from the Reddit user was, "No thanks, reality TV is awful. You must have a screw loose and a desperate need to be on TV to do reality shows." Reality in inverted commas there.
You could have just said no thank you. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
No one says no thank you anymore.
They did start with no thanks.
Yeah, true.
To be fair, but before going on an honestly mindless tirade about reality television, which is not remotely based in fact. So, but I think this is 3 months old, but I think it's an interesting little thing for us just to keep on the radar.
So it's older singles and teenage or early 20s kids. Is that the vibe?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it says your children create their own content.
It sounds real bad. I've got to say. It sounds
like quite overcomplicated.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to bring it into the TikTok age or something, but also trying to save money,
Yeah.
The kids are basically recording the show for us.
We just need to make Last Shot at Love the dating show set in an old age home. Like, it's not don't overcomplicate it. That's what we want to see. Is like horny seniors. It's right there.
What happened to The Bachelor that was supposed to be coming out in the US that was going to be a seniors one? Remember that? We reported that, didn't we? Years ago.
Did we also report they were going to do an over 40s Love Island or something? I think that is in the works still. Maybe they just say these things though.
I could go on that.
You could.
I could go on that and go over 40s Love Island. Sign me up. I got a text. You know
how to say I got a text.
I know how to say it. And that is the end of our podcast.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
Wow. What a pod.
It's been lovely. It's been just
really
lovely.
One of the great podcasts, I think, in real pod history. Samuel, clip this one and send it to everyone. All of the awards.
Attention,
Reply
everyone.
all.
It was high energy. It was informed. It was snappy.
Is it too late for us to be invited to the King's coronation based on the quality of this one podcast?
It reacted hastily to Police 10-7 and a 3-month-old Reddit exchange. Boy, oh boy, we really
we're back in our flop era.
Back in the flops. This is where we belong, though, and we will rebuild.
And if you like it, please do give us some 5-star ratings. Leave us a review on the Apple machine, just
or the Spotify machine.
Or the Spotify machine. Share with your friends. I've started on Spotify now. There's a little thing that says, "What did you think of this episode?" And you can go in and share your kind thoughts, your nice thoughts. If you say something nasty, I won't publish it.
That's right.
So,
do you approve it?
I approve.
I love that.
So if you want to see your name in lights,
I might go in there and start begging out Duncan.
Spotify feed of The Real Pod, make sure you're saying only nice things. Okay. All right, let's go.
This has been good.
Thanks for listening. Thanks, Samuel. Thanks, Samuel's not even listening.
Can I just say I blame the amulet?
Yeah, it's cursed amulet. I need to get a chain for it.
All right.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spin-Off. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spin-Off member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spin-Off Podcast Network.